So, hello everyone. Uh, we are with Danny, Marie, and Sarah, or rather 18s. A huge phenomenon that reunited 2 years ago, and now you are in Melodifestivalen. How are you feeling 2 weeks before the final?
Ooh, when you're saying 2 weeks
When
before
you
the
say
final,
that,
I'm
it
like,
makes it real.
Yeah. I mean, we have basically just digested that that we went through to the finals.
Yeah.
So now we have to regroup,
Yeah.
amp up for the final. We're so excited. It's just gonna be so nice to meet up, all four of us, soon again, because we're all spread out still. Sarah's in London, in England. Sorry, Sarah. She's in England, and Amit is on Iceland, at home, and me and Marie are in Stockholm. So we can't just wait to be united.
And we get to do it again, we get to show Sweden our performance
insane.
and, sing and dance and what we love the most, and be together. So it's going to be amazing to be back.
So, preparing for the interview, I was watching your documentary on SVT about your reunion. And at the end, there was a footage from Malmö when you were an interval act in Melodifestivalen, when you were asked during the press conference if you would ever compete in Melodifestivalen.
And what did we
You
say?
said,
What did we say?
and you were
should never
saying,
say never, I think.
I don't think so. So, what changed? How did the decision happen, actually?
I think when we did that press conference, we had not been on stage yet and we hadn't performed yet. And so I think what changed was that performance. I think, we did that performance and the love we felt afterwards, like between each other, but also from the audience and from the fans and from Sweden, was just so unexpected, and it was overwhelming, and we just felt like we need to do more together. Like, we can't just do this performance and just go back to our other lives. So after that we started to tour, and last year we did a lot of concerts all over the world, and after that we felt, we're not done yet. We want to do more together, and what is the next step for us then? And that is to go back into the studio and record new songs. And when we found the right single, we started to talk about, maybe Melodifestivalen would be the right place to premiere that song at. So that's kind of how what happened. It was that performance.
And the song came to you first, or what's the story behind your entry, Iconic?
Yeah, so when Iconic got sent to us, it was actually written for us, because especially in like today's world, it's very common that songs are just, that great people like Thomas Gesson and like the whole team that has written Iconic, like well-known people like that usually just write a lot of incredible songs, and then they send them out to a bunch of artists or groups to see like who would be a good fit for it. But in this case, Iconic was actually written for us. Because they had seen when we performed at Melodifestivalen in 2024, and they had heard rumors that, like, if we find the right song, like, we would consider it. And they just completely nailed it. And when we heard it, we just felt like this is what 18s is, or like would be, but what 18s are today. So here we are.
And you, as you said, you are living in different countries: UK, US, Iceland, and of course Sweden. How do you prepare for the contest across borders, and what is like to working together after so many years?
Well, I think the preparations is a lot of take your own responsibility has been the trend for the last 2 years. We did, for the last year's tour, we actually got together for the production. We rehearsed it over 10-12 days, and then we left, and there was like 6 weeks left to the show. Then we did a few online Zoom trainings, rehearsing the show. And that was kind of the same thing here. We had the press conference, we were in Stockholm, we got the performance, the choreography, we went through it, in a day. and learned it, and then we had to like practice on your own time kind of thing. And of course we, you know, if Marie and Donnie is in Stockholm, they would get together once or twice, you know, to refresh their minds and train together, and we would be like calling in different in different sections. So I think, you know, it is take your own responsibility and train on your own parts, and then obviously do a lot of teams meetings.
Yeah, truly. And I mean, then also for your second question, like when we now getting back together, even though it's been, and this is something that we talked about earlier today as well, even though it's been 20 years and you think like, oh, do you guys even know each other anymore? But like how close we were for so many years during such an important time, like of all of our lives, you know, when you're between 15 and early 20s, when you become who you are for the rest of your life, and growing up together and being through what we've been through, which is also so special and so unique. Like there's a bond that I can't even put words to it. Like it sounds so like cliche and, you know, but it's really true. Like I cannot put words on it because it's like, there's a bond that I don't think that a lot of people have to other people, you know.
It is very special. Very special.
Yeah.
So we just know each other inside out, and I just think that it's also so unique to be able to come back and be able to do this like we do now with years apart. So we have still been able to like find, like we have all found ourselves within those years, because when 18s ended, I had no idea who I was. I was like, I know I'm 25% of 18s, but I don't know who Donnie is. Like, what am I going to do now without them? So I think like this is such a unique situation that we're in, and that's also why I think that we also got so excited to do more after we did the first performance, because when we got the response that we did, that Sarah talked about earlier, I think it's like who would turn that opportunity down? Like, I mean, like we just couldn't turn that down. Like spend time together.
We're having the time of our lives.
Yeah, travel around the world together, be on stage together, and be able to share, like, and like hopefully make people see that is like the pure joy and love that we have for each other and being out together. And, you know, like now during these times, you know, like the world is, excuse my language, but such a shithole right now, to be able to like share some positive energy and like uplifting music and do the things that 18s stood for and still stands for. And I just think it's such a blessing. Like I am the happiest I've been like ever.
Oh, good.
No, but true.
So actually, like when you think about your journey and the experiences you got across all of those years, what would you say, what describes 18s in 2026?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
it kind of aligns with Donnie's old, you know, what he just said. You know, I think shine a light in a very dark place. You know, I think that you should feel like I could do anything that I want to be able to do in life with this music. You should find a way to be able to express yourself, be happy with what you have, and achieve your dreams.
Amen.
And also, like when I think about your journey, you became globally successful very young as a teenagers. And when you look back, what are the biggest positives and biggest challenges of being like a commercial pop group, particularly when you think about this kind of trade-off between like artistic freedom versus industry expectations? What happens very often for young artists? Let's say you have many of those people who are going to talent shows. They have like something what they want to express themselves, and then they are starting, let's say, getting contract, and there's specific expectations for them, and they cannot meet them, and there's like this clash of let's say, as I said, as an artistic freedom and those expectations from industry. How do you feel about that, having your experience, actually?
I mean, I think that's a really, really good question. And it's really good that you bring it up, because we have discussed this a lot too. Because when we have been, like, the past 2 years, spent so much time together, and we like reflect on, like, you know, back in the days when we did tour, and what we didn't think about then, and what we subconsciously did or thought about, and were, you know, that we worried about consciously as well. Just like you said, expectations, and back then, in like a very sensitive age, you know, when you want to be like, you want to please everyone, right? And if you then release music to the entire world, and like you start to see, oh, this song is charting here but not here, and you start to, like, I just think it's very, very dangerous. And I think it's crazy that we have managed it so well, but like, we had a great team around us, and we all come from very safe and like good families.
And we have each other.
And we have each other, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like now, when we are back together, what feels so great, and what I think our strength is now, and I hope that shines through, is that we don't feel like we have to prove anything to anyone. Like, we are doing this, you know, like this old, like, Rick Rubin quote, right? Like, you should always do music for yourself. You should never do music for anyone else but yourself. And people that enjoy it will join you. You can never please everyone, and you should never try to please everyone. And because if you start to please external things, like a label or a fan group or whatever, you start in the wrong end, right? So, and I think that we really have that mantra now, like, because when we started doing this, even when we went in and did the performance 2024 at Melodifestivalen, when we were not competing, that's what we said. Like, let's go in and just have fun. Like, do we think this would be fun? Like, yes, we think it would be fun. Okay, so let's see if like that can shine through, and if people would like it. If people don't like it, like, let's not, maybe don't push it too much, because we want to protect the legacy that we had.
Yeah.
But if people enjoy it, and we still enjoy it, like, let's just do it. Like, let's not, like, let's just music for us, and because we love each other, and because we have so much fun together. And if people can see that, and like likes to join us on our little, like, positive little journey we're gonna do now. Amazing.
And we are doing it for us, and we like it's been so important for the four of us. Like, all the decisions that we make are like sprung from, you know, we can't forget that we are doing this for fun, and you know, we like, and we are such a big part of all the decision making today, which is a huge difference also from when we were doing it the first time, because we were so young, had zero experience, and we were working like all the time. And now we have all that experience, and also the like 20 years where we have been working by ourselves doing different things, and we have all that experience as well. So it's like a totally different ball game today, and we're doing this because we want to. It's not like someone came to us and like, we want you to do this, you have to do this, da, da, da. You know, we are doing it because we love this so much. We love each other so much. We love, you know, our fans, and we want to do this for them as well, you know,
and that is like motivating us.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like, since we came back, and we have get so much great response from our fans, and they're so encouraging, and they want to hear more, see more. They travel across the world with us to see different performances, of course. And I mean, that is fueling our, you know,
our fire.
happiness. Yeah, exactly.
Right now, coming back to Melodifestivalen, of course, it's a competition, and it's not something new for you, especially for you, Sarah and Mari. You were there before. What kind of lessons are you taking from that experience, and are you bringing them right now to the whole group?
Well, yeah, I've been competing twice, and I've hosted the show once. And I think like both me and Sarah learned, you know, that you shouldn't read anything that they're writing about you in like magazines or you know, like social media or blogs or whatever, because that is just going to affect you, even though you don't think it's going to affect you. it is going to affect you. Like even though they're writing positive things, like just shut it out. You know, it doesn't serve you anything good. Like stay in your bubble and just keep your focus. And I think we really managed to do that in Linköping as well. Like we were so unaware of whatever people were writing about us. So when we later understood, like, yeah, people are expecting you to go through to the finals, we were like, are they really? Like we had no idea. Like we didn't know. We were just in our own space. And I think yeah.
And I mean also that was so great for me and Amit to have the girls to have done this before, and to have had that experience, because me and Amit had like no idea basically what we went into, because it's one thing to see it from the outside and it's a completely different thing to be in it, right? So it was just really, really good to have the girls there to, you know, with that experience.
Also, I think when we went into the week, we just said, you know, look, we have our own thing, we love our thing, you know, like we'll run our train, you know, we will. And the thing is, we had so much fun during the whole week that we don't felt the need to read the stories, you know, like we were in our bubble, you know, we had the best day, the competition day, we had like the best morning, you know, our team were amazing. Like it was just the lead up was just, we didn't have time to read the blogs. We didn't have time to care about what other was thinking. It was like we were like in our zone.
Yeah, the focus was to like enjoy.
And boy, did we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so true. Yeah. So true.
See that. And to conclude, 18th was always an international pop project. And does Eurovision feel like a continuation, or is it something surprising for you, actually?
I mean, it would be amazing to be out there again. And I mean, we visited a lot of the countries that are part of Eurovision back in the days. And yeah, it would feel, like I said in the beginning, like a huge honor if we would end up there to go to Vienna.
Oh my God.
My God. That would be, manifest it. That would be so much fun.
Perfect. So what I can say, lycka till I finalen. Oh, thank you so much.
Tack så mycket.
That was really good Swedish.
Yeah, very good.
Tack så jättemycket. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Keep your fingers crossed for us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.